Rumors are absolutely exploding right now about a massive defensive overhaul that could turn this roster into a legitimate title threat overnight. We are talking about arguably the most terrifying pass rusher on the market potentially heading our way, alongside a defensive mastermind reunion that nobody saw coming. But with massive superstar arrivals come heartbreaking departures, and the latest top 100 free agency projections are going to leave you absolutely speechless. If you want to stay ahead of every single breaking rumor and blockbuster move this offseason, smash that like button, share this video with your crew, and subscribe right now so you never miss an update. We have to dive straight into the trenches because the offensive line situation is keeping all of us up at night. With the devastating reality that Ozzy Trapilo is likely set to miss all, or at least the vast majority, of this upcoming season, there is a massive, glaring hole on the left side of our line. The latest projections have us landing a very specific veteran to stop the bleeding, and that is offensive tackle Cam Robinson. Now I know some of you might be groaning, but hear me out. Robinson is entering his 10th year in the league with a staggering 114 career starts at left tackle. He is ranked as the 85th overall free agent right now, and honestly, as a pure stopgap, this makes a lot of sense. When you look back at his last 4 years, yes, last season's split between the Texans and the Browns was rocky. It was not pretty. But for the 3 years prior to that, and really throughout the bulk of his career, he has been an incredibly solid piece. Historically, he is a much better pass protector than a run blocker. Pro Football Focus consistently grades him above average in pass protection, while he hovers around average to below average in the run game. But think back to what Ben Johnson emphasized all the way back in training camp last year. First and foremost, they desperately want someone who can step up and protect the quarterback in those brutal one-on-one situations. Robinson can absolutely do that at an adequate level. Is he the long-term savior? No. But he is a proven upgrade over Theo Benedict in pass protection, even if he takes a slight step back in run blocking. Are we really just one veteran stopgap away from finally locking down the trenches and protecting our quarterback? You could potentially kick Joe Thuney outside, or rely entirely on Benedict, but bringing in a guy like Robinson for the right price just feels like the necessary insurance policy. Last year he was on a 1-year, $13 million deal that was heavily loaded with incentives. If we could snag him on a 1-year deal with a $5 to $6 million base, incentivized up to $10 million, that is a risk you take every single day of the week. Now let's talk about the defense, because this next prediction completely blew my mind, and it involves a massive reunion with Dennis Allen. Prepare yourselves for this one. The projections have us targeting none other than Demario Davis. Yes, he is going to be 37 years old, but he is undeniably one of the greatest linebackers of his entire generation, and he is finally set to hit the open market after being the heart and soul of the Saints since 2018. Davis played his heart out under Dennis Allen from 2018 all the way through 2024, and the man simply refuses to slow down. He just set a career high with 143 tackles this past season. Linebackers are not supposed to even exist in the league at 37, let alone dominate the way he does. He has heavily hinted that he is not only returning to the field, but he wants to test the waters and finish his legendary career with a true contender. This guy has played 227 regular season games, but has only tasted the playoffs 5 times, with just 2 measly wins. He is hungry for a ring. Even at his age, he moves incredibly well. Yes, his pure coverage ability dipped a tiny fraction last year, but during his final season with DA, he was still phenomenal, giving up a quarterback rating of less than 80 when targeted. He graded out exceptionally well this year, remaining completely elite against the run. And his 68.3 coverage grade. That is still well above average, and crucially, it is significantly higher than both Tremaine Edmunds and T.J. Edwards. This brings us to the ultimate question. We all know Tremaine Edmunds is a prime cut candidate. Moving on from him would immediately save us a massive $15 million. What if we cut Edmunds, save that $15 million, and bring in Demario Davis on a 1-year, $5 million deal? You instantly clear $10 million in cap space, bring in unparalleled veteran leadership who already knows the exact defensive system, and arguably field a better, more seasoned player for a 2026 title run. Question of the day. If you had to choose right now between solidifying the offensive line with a guy like Cam Robinson, or bringing in a veteran defensive enforcer like Demario Davis to run this defense, which path are you taking? Drop a comment below right now and let me know your choice. Moving to the secondary, There is one major internal free agent that absolutely must be prioritized, and that is Kevin Byard. Thankfully, the projections completely agree with the current buzz. There is intense, mutual interest from both sides to get a 1 or 2 year reunion deal done. Byard was nothing short of spectacular this year. He completely reverted to his elite, ball-hawking form, snagging 7 interceptions and racking up 8 pass breakups. He was flying around the football all season long. Right now, we literally have 0 safeties under contract. None. If you let a 33-year-old leader like Byard walk after the masterclass he just put on, you are forcing yourself to completely rebuild the back end of your defense from scratch. He knows the system, he thrived under Dennis Allen, he loves the city, and his family loves the city. Unless a desperate team backs up a Brinks truck and throws an absurd $15 million one-year deal at him out of nowhere, expect Kevin Byard to be locking down our secondary once again on a very reasonable contract. But all of that brings us to the absolute crown jewel of these free agency predictions. The monumental game-changer that could single-handedly resurrect our defensive line. We finished an embarrassing 31st in pass rush win rate this past season. We desperately need a terrifying presence off the edge. And the number 4 overall free agent on the market is projected to be wearing our colors. We are talking about Trey Hendrickson. Now, Hendrickson is an incredibly fascinating case right now. The luster has faded just a tiny bit compared to a year ago. Instead of coming off his usual 4 straight Pro Bowls and back-to-back 17.5 sack campaigns, he is hitting the market after undergoing core muscle surgery in December. That brutal injury limited him to just 4 sacks in 7 games in 2025. Last year, the Bengals handed him a 1-year, $29 million deal, but due to the surgery, he is not going to command that astronomical price tag this time around. He is currently sitting just 19 sacks away from 100 for his incredible career. If we can secure a fiercely motivated Trey Hendrickson on a 1 to 2 year deal for anything less than $25 million a year, that is an absolute grand slam of a signing. Imagine a structured 2-year, $45 million contract. That is $22.5 million a year, with around $30 million guaranteed. That specific structure is a masterstroke. It perfectly aligns with the defensive blueprint. It gives the front office a clean escape hatch after 2026 if the injury lingers, perfectly matching the timeline of contracts like Grady Jarrett, Dayo Odeyingbo, and Montez Sweat. If the front office wants to completely detonate and rebuild the defensive line in 2027, they have the total financial freedom to do so. But until then, picture a top-edge rotation of Trey Hendrickson, Montez Sweat, and Austin Booker. You draft a defensive tackle in the 1st or 2nd round to anchor the middle, and suddenly, that defensive front is an absolute nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Forget mortgaging the entire future for a blockbuster Max Crosby trade. Signing Hendrickson allows us to keep our premium draft capital while instantly fielding an elite pass rush. However, to make these dream scenarios a reality, sacrifices have to be made, and the projections predict some deeply painful departures for fan favorites. The experts have 3 major internal free agents leaving the building. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who hovered around the 90th spot on the top 100 list, is projected to sign with the New York Giants. Jaquan Brisker, ranked even higher due to his youth and upside, is painfully predicted to pack his bags and join the Las Vegas Raiders. And perhaps the most shocking offensive departure, Keenan Allen, sitting high in the top 15 or 20 free agents, is projected to head to the New York Jets. It is going to be a wild, emotional, and franchise-altering offseason. The chess pieces are moving, the rumors are flying, and the window to build a championship roster is wide open. Let me know in the comments how you feel about these departures and additions, and I will catch you all in the next breakdown.